manufacturers spent decades locked in a performance arms race that had no ceiling and no mercy. Engineers pushed displacement, tuners exploited loopholes, and factory racing programs produced streetcars that had no business being street legal. Regulators watched. Insurance companies raised rates. Rivals scrambled to respond. And still, General Motors kept building. The machines on this list were not the result of marketing decisions or showroom aesthetics. They were the result of engineers who believed that horsepower was a moral imperative and that the quarter mile was the only honest measure of everything they had built. Some of these cars were produced in the hundreds. Some shocked the industry into silence. All of them left a mark on American automotive history that has never fully faded. These are 10 of the most powerful GM muscle cars ever produced, documented, ranked, and told exactly as the record shows. Number 10, 1970, Chevrolet Chevelle LS6. The 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle LS6 represents the absolute peak of factory big block escalation before insurance crackdowns and emissions regulations reshaped the landscape. Under the hood sat the 454 cubic inch LS6 V8, factory rated at 450 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, figures widely regarded as conservative even at the time. Built with forged aluminum pistons, a forged steel crankshaft, high-flow rectangular port cylinder heads, and an aggressive solid lifter camshaft, the LS6 was engineered to survive repeated high RPM punishment. Its 11-25,000 compression ratio demanded premium fuel but rewarded drivers with explosive throttle response. The 800 CFM Holley 4-barrel carburetor and functional cowl induction hood ensured cooler, denser air during hard acceleration. 0 to 60 arrived in roughly 5.4 seconds, while quarter-mile times consistently fell into the low 13-second range at over 107 miles per hour in stock form. What separated the LS6 from rivals was not just peak horsepower, but relentless mid-range torque delivery that made acceleration feel immediate and violent. It was not subtle, it was not economical, it was built to dominate. Number 9, 1962, Pontiac Catalina Super Duty. The 1962 Pontiac Catalina Super Duty was effectively a NASCAR program made street legal. Powered by a 421 cubic inch Super Duty V8 rated at 405 horsepower, though realistically closer to 450, it was engineered for durability at sustained high RPM. Forged internals, strengthened crankshaft supports, heavy-duty connecting rods, and race-developed cylinder heads gave it structural integrity uncommon in production vehicles. Pontiac reduced curb weight by nearly 150 pounds through aluminum body panels, lightweight components, and strategic material choices. Dual Carter carburetors delivered immense airflow capacity, ensuring rapid throttle response under load. Despite its full-size dimensions, the Catalina accelerated from 0 to 60 in approximately 5.4 seconds and covered the quarter mile in 13.9 seconds at 17 miles per hour. For 1962, those numbers bordered on extraordinary. It launched hard due to optimized gearing and maintained pull deep into the rev range. The Catalina Super Duty demonstrated that factory-backed racing engineering could translate directly into measurable street performance without compromise. Number 8, 1969, Chevrolet COPO Camaro. The 1969 COPO Camaro existed because engineers and dealers refused to let corporate displacement limits restrict performance ambition. Through the central office production order system, Chevrolet installed the 427 cubic inch L72 big block into the lighter Camaro chassis. Rated at 425 horsepower and producing approximately 460 pound-feet of torque, it transformed the compact platform into a drag strip weapon. Roughly 1,015 L72 examples were built, alongside 69 ultra-rare ZL1 aluminum block variants that reduce front-end weight while maintaining similar output. The result was staggering for the era, 0 to 60 in roughly 5.1 seconds and quarter-mile times dipping into the low 12-second range at trap speeds nearing 110 miles per hour. Number 7, 1969 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. The 1969 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am delivered more than straight-line force. It delivered balance. Powered by the Ram Air 3 400 cubic inch V8 producing 335 horsepower and roughly 430 pound-feet of torque, it provided strong mid-range acceleration. The optional Ram Air 4 increased output to 345 horsepower through revised cam timing, higher flow heads, and improved induction geometry. 0 to 60 acceleration arrived in about 5.8 seconds, while quarter-mile performance landed in the low 14-second range. Rear axle ratios of 3.5 or 3-9 amplified torque multiplication, giving the car authoritative launches. What distinguished the Trans Am was its suspension tuning and chassis composure. Wider stance, improved weight distribution, and upgraded sway bars allowed higher sustained cornering speeds than many domestic competitors. Only 697 Cougs were produced in 1969, reinforcing rarity. The Trans Am proved muscle cars could combine measurable acceleration with controlled handling precision. Number 6, 1970 Oldsmobile 442 W30. The 1970 Oldsmobile 442 W30 emphasized intelligent torque delivery over headline horsepower claims. Its 455 cubic inch V8 produced 370 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque, with peak torque arriving at just 3,200 RPM. That early torque curve made real-world acceleration effortless. 0 to 60 required approximately 5.9 seconds, and quarter-mile times averaged mid-13 seconds at roughly 102 miles per hour. Aluminum intake components and a fiberglass hood with functional cold air induction reduced weight while improving airflow. A revised camshaft and carefully tuned carburetor enhanced upper RPM breathing without sacrificing drivability. Available Hurst shifted manual and performance. Calibrated automatic transmissions ensured reliable torque transfer. The W30 was not the most flamboyant car of the era, but it delivered consistent, repeatable acceleration that made it formidable both on the street and at the strip. Number 5, 1987 Buick Regal GNX. By 1987, emissions laws had transformed American performance, yet the Buick Regal GNX proved muscle was not extinct, it had evolved. Its turbocharged 231 cubic inch V6 carried an official rating of 276 horsepower and 360 pound-feet of torque, though independent testing revealed higher real output. Turbo Boost built aggressively, launching the GNX from 0 to 60 in just 4.7 seconds. Quarter-mile times fell around 13.5 seconds at over 100 miles per hour. Developed in partnership with McLaren Performance Technologies, the GNX featured recalibrated boost control, improved intercooling, strengthened rear differential components, and revised suspension geometry to manage torque surge. The torque arm rear suspension helped maintain traction under boost pressure. Limited to 547 units, it was stealthy in appearance yet devastating in measurable acceleration. The GNX demonstrated that forced induction precision could outperform traditional displacement strategies. Number 4, 1966 Chevrolet Chevelle L78. The 1966 Chevelle L78 embodied high-revving big block aggression. Its 39.6 cubic inch V8 produced 375 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque through elevated compression ratios and solid lifter cam timing. 0 to 60 acceleration averaged around 6.5 seconds, and quarter-mile times dipped under 14 seconds at approximately 104 miles per hour. Unlike torque-heavy engines that peaked early, the L78 rewarded drivers who let RPM climb, delivering a surge of power near redline. Heavy-duty driveline components and reinforced rear axle assemblies ensured durability under repeated launches. Only 3,099 units received this engine configuration out of more than 70,000 Chevelles produced that year, reinforcing its focused performance identity. The L78 combined mechanical simplicity with proven straight-line capability, strengthening Chevrolet's performance credibility during the mid-1960s horsepower race. Number 3, 1973 Pontiac Trans Am SD 455. As emissions regulations tightened, the 1973 Trans Am SD 455 proved performance could survive regulatory pressure. Its reinforced 455 cubic inch V8 carried a rating of 310 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque, though many believed real output exceeded those figures. Forged connecting rods, strengthened block castings, and revised cylinder heads optimized airflow while maintaining emissions compliance. 0 to 60 arrived in roughly 5.4 seconds, and quarter-mile passes averaged 13.54 seconds at just over 100 miles per hour, competitive with earlier high-compression muscle cars. A strengthened Turbo 400 automatic and recalibrated rear gearing ensured consistent torque delivery. The SD455 represented disciplined engineering rather than brute force escalation. It demonstrated that structural refinement and airflow optimization could preserve performance even as compression ratios fell industry-wide. Number 2. 1970 Buick GSX Stage 1. The 1970 Buick GSX Stage 1 was defined by Torque Authority. Its 455 cubic inch V8 carried a factory rating of 360 horsepower but produced a staggering 510 pound-feet of torque at just 2,800 RPM, the highest torque rating of any American production car that year. 0 to 60 acceleration arrived in approximately 5.5 seconds, and quarter-mile testing recorded 13:38 seconds at 105.5 miles per hour. Larger intake and exhaust valves, revised camshaft profiles, and recalibrated carburation enhanced airflow and durability. Unlike engines that required high RPM for peak output, the Stage 1 delivered immediate thrust across the rev band. Only 400 Stage 1 units were produced within total GSX production, making it rare and formidable. Road testers declared it the quickest American production car they had evaluated, a claim validated by timeslips. Number 1. 1965 Pontiac GTO. The 1965 Pontiac GTO created the foundation upon which the muscle car era expanded. Its 389 cubic inch V8 produced 335 horsepower in standard form and 360 horsepower with tri-power induction, generating approximately 424 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 required about 6.6 seconds, and quarter-mile times fell in the mid-14-second range at around 100 miles per hour. Revised cylinder head geometry improved combustion efficiency, while a Hurst shifted 4-speed manual enhanced driver control and torque multiplication. By placing substantial displacement into a mid-size chassis at an attainable price, Pontiac reshaped consumer expectations. The GTO proved measurable acceleration could drive mass demand. It did not simply compete in the muscle era, it made that era commercially viable and permanently altered American automotive culture. If any car on this list surprised you, or if you believe another GM machine belongs in this conversation, leave that in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us, because the history of American performance is far from over.